welcome back. Hi, I'm Tina. I run Oil of Joy. I have a reason behind the name. If you're ever curious, ask me about it. I've shared it before, it just popped into my mind. But here we are today getting prepped. It's Sunday and I am prepping for the week. And so I have already made hard-boiled eggs for my husband's lunches. I can't eat them because I am free of several foods, but he loves hard-boiled eggs. I love hard-boiled eggs. I just don't eat them, but I made them for him. And I'm also gonna prep him some yogurt for the week. So he has a quick, easy couple things he can grab, and then he usually adds to it, or if there's leftovers, he takes those. But for me, I am prepping some carrot cake muffins this afternoon, so that I have an easy breakfast for myself. And dinner tonight's gonna be a chicken vegetable soup, and there will be plenty of leftovers so that I can eat that throughout the week. I'm a big fan of prepping for success when you're trying to eat a healthy diet, and especially when you're navigating food sensitivities, food allergies, that sort of thing. That's what I help people do, and hopefully you will find some inspiration too. So today's recipe, I actually found at Happy Healthy Mama. I will link it in the description below. It is a gluten-free, egg-free recipe, which is two of my things I do avoid. I can't have them. And so we are gonna jump in. So I thought carrot cake would be kind of fun. I don't know why that's a fall recipe and it's technically spring, but it just sounded really good. And so, yeah, so let's see what we think of this recipe. We'll make it start to finish together. I'll probably speed through a couple of the parts, but I'm so glad you joined me today. So yeah, Sunday, work week is coming up. I like to be prepared. So first thing it said is to, preheat the oven, of course. So I did that. It's at 375. I forgot to pull out the pan, but I'll do that after we get this all mixed together. So in here it says to combine the rolled oats, the milk, apple cider vinegar, and allow to soak for 30 minutes. So we'll get those going and then we'll take a break. So I am using 1 degree sprouted oats. I really do love these. I think they're great. Oh, I need a 1 cup measuring cup. Oh, this recipe calls for 2 cups. 1, 2. And then it calls for 2 cups of milk. Now, I have a thicker oat milk, so I'm actually gonna thin that. So I have this last little bit of coconut creamer from, you can hear, just barely. So I'm gonna use the last bit of that because I need to use it up. And then I use this for my lattes and such, my tea lattes. So I'm actually only gonna do 1 cup of milk. And then I'm gonna do 1 cup of water because this is really thick. Okay, so 2 cups. It calls for vanilla almond milk. I can't do almonds, so here we go. So we do what we can, right? And then it calls for 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. So that is what I have here. For liquids, this kind of little measuring cup, you guys, I just find it easier. You can just measure from the top. 2 tablespoons, we're gonna pour that in and let that have a moment. Let's stir. Okay. We'll let that set for 30 minutes. I'll be back shortly. Okay, guys, I'm back. This is set for 30 minutes, and I've been just goofing around with my camera because I think I almost need like a 2-camera system. One where you can see what I'm doing and one where I can actually talk to you face to face. So this does call for 1/2 cup of coconut oil. So I thought I would get that melting right now. So we'll pop this in the microwave. I'll be right back. So to this, oh, I got a little extra there. So this is just that base of oats, milk, vinegar. And to this it says add mashed banana, which I had a frozen mashed banana, but it's been in the freezer for quite a while and I pulled it out and it really looked disturbing. So I am opting for applesauce. So much easier. I always buy the little minis like this from Trader Joe's, the organic ones. Stand by. So that whenever I am doing some baking, it's super easy for me to just have it ready to go. And I don't have to worry about applesauce going bad in the meantime. So I'm going to do that. So we're going to add in the applesauce, which it calls for 2 medium bananas. It's about 1 cup. This is shy of 1 cup. I could probably actually use 2 of these guys. Let me go grab one more. Give me a second. There's 1. And I got 1 more. Okay, so here's 2. And I know they say baking is like this science, and I've always baked like people talk about they cook, you know, from the heart. I just kind of wing it. So I'm using applesauce, not banana. Perhaps I think it'll work out fine. I'll kind of check how the texture is. If I need a little more flour, I'll add it. It's not a big deal. Yeah, so anyway, we're going to add that. We're going to add the coconut oil and the grated carrot. So there's our coconut oil. And it's kind of nice because it's set out for a little bit so the milk's not super cold, so I don't worry about it getting stiff really fast. Here's my, this was just 1 carrot, guys, that I grated up. And it's actually going to be a little bit more than a cup because I measured to make sure I had enough. But I'm not going to worry about it. We're going with it. We need vanilla. You know, the old fashioned way of doing it. You just fill the lid and put that in. And then the sugar. So I am using coconut sugar like this kind for this. You could use whatever. If you want it to be sugar-free, oh my goodness, it just refreshed. If you want it to be sugar-free, you can use one of the alternatives such as Trim Healthy Mama's products or, gosh, now I can't remember the name of it. Let me look. Something like this would actually be really good in it, the Swerve brown sugar. I am using this though for this particular recipe, but you know what? Make it how you feel best. If you want it completely sugar-free, totally understand. Use an alternative. Coconut sugar is great. It has a lot of nutrients in it, and that's why I'm choosing to go ahead and still use it. So this calls for 1/2 cup of coconut sugar. That's a 2/3 cup. I had my little walnuts in there, so we will do a 1/2 cup in here, which my coconut sugar has become kind of angry and stiff. So I will have to manually break it up, but I will get the 1/2 cup out of here. I don't know. Is there a trick, you guys, to keeping coconut sugar from getting kind of in chunks like this? I don't know. So anyway, what I do, it's not like it's permanently like that. So I just break it up. I just grab the big chunks and I just pulverize them in my hand. When I'm going, I know it takes a little extra time, but I'm not in any rush. It's my Sunday. I'm hanging out. I'm relaxing. I'm enjoying. We had a very wonderful, quiet weekend. Yesterday was filled with storms. So we just hung out. I took a nap. I've been really tired this weekend, but when the weather changes a lot, makes me feel a little bit off. So it was really actually great. My husband worked on a Lego kit both days. I have a puzzle, but I didn't do it. I really just farted around on the internet and did my journaling, Bible study, all that kind of stuff. Nothing big. It was actually a great weekend to just kind of lay low. Yeah, so that's been my big agenda. I have work this week. And I don't know if I have Spanish Bible study this week or not. I'll have to look. I feel like it's this week, but I'll have to look. So for those of you that aren't in the know, I've been learning Spanish well, I took it in high school all 4 years, like everybody either picked one language or another kind of thing. Sugar and mix well. Okay. And then over the years, I've tried off and on to learn it and only to get frustrated, you know, when it came to like past tense and, just learning all the different components of the language. I just get really frustrated. And so I'd give up. And then 2 years ago, we started to plan a trip to Mexico for my nephew's wedding. And so I determined I was going to push through and really work to learn. So I hired a tutor off of italki, which is an amazing app. Well, I don't know if it's an app, but it's a website. And I hired a tutor, and you can pick like all the different languages. You can often find people from exactly where you want them to be. It's really pretty amazing. And so I was really excited to find that. And so I diligently started tutoring with a Spanish teacher out of Mexico, so that I would speak more Spanish from Mexico than other places. And I did that for about a year before my trip. Okay, let's get on to the next set and then I'll tell you more about my story. So in a separate bowl, whisk together the flour, baking powder, baking soda, cinnamon, ginger, cloves, and salt. I was wondering where the salt was going to go. Okay, so now we are at oat flour. We need 2.5 cups of this. And this is just the Azure standard oat flour. This is going to make a lot of muffins. I almost should have probably halved this, but that's okay. What I'll do is I'll probably freeze half and then I'll have breakfast for a whole nother week. So I'm all about the prep. So here we are prepping for 2 weeks of breakfast at one time. That's pretty sweet. Because this will make a dozen, and I'll eat 2 a day for 4 days. That's 8. So I won't have quite enough for 2 weeks, but it'll be pretty close. I'll be a happy camper, so I'm okay with that. And then, oops, I forgot the half cup. Put it away. Get on to the next thing already. Okay, so there's our 2.5 cups of oat flour. And then we need baking powder and baking soda. This is baking powder, and it says 2 teaspoons. I've got my nifty little set of vintage measuring spoons. I lost my 1 cupper. So sad for my vintage cups. 2 teaspoons baking powder. And then it calls for 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And I pretty much buy all of my baking supplies from Azure, which they announced they're having a sale. I don't know if that's still going on, but I'll link to Azure Standard also in the description box below. 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. I have this cinnamon, and then of course I have my Ceylon for baking. Usually I won't use that fancier cinnamon. I'll usually use, I think this is a Costco cinnamon. I don't remember, but I need to use it up, so I'll use it in this because I'll use the other cinnamon almost on a daily basis. Now, cinnamon is one of those I measure with my heart. That looks good. So, because I adore cinnamon, you guys. Adore cinnamon. Something is making my nose really itchy. I'm sorry. Okay. Ground ginger. We need a teaspoon of that. So let's get out our little teaspooner and fill that. Now the ginger I'll stick closer to the called for amounts because it really can be strong and overpower other parts of it. And then cloves is just 1/4 of a teaspoon. So we will grab that guy off of there. And let's not, and I also won't overdo cloves either because same thing, very strong flavor profile. So I try not to overdo them. And then we need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So we'll take 1, 2, and it says whisk all those together, which I brought my little handy dandy whisk. And this bowl is not quite big enough, but we're going to make it work. This is going to be a lot of batter. It'll be good. It'll be really good muffins. I could almost put this in and bake it like a cake. Decisions. I don't know. I think I'll just leave it muffins. They're kind of fun. They're easy, pre-portioned. All I have to do is run downstairs because I work up in my office upstairs. All I have to do is run downstairs and grab a couple muffins, my tea. Sometimes I'll have a protein shake with it. Yeah. Anyway, so on to the rest of the story as I mix. So yeah, I started italki. I had an amazing teacher, Eloisa. I just loved her. I really bonded with her. She was so sweet. And she was out of Veracruz, I believe, Mexico. And so, I adored her. I went on vacation. We chatted while I was on vacation. I came home from vacation and she was gone. I'm telling you, it was one of the most heartbreaking things. I was so excited to tell her all about my trip and all the experiences I had. And I was really very heartbroken because we'd worked a year together on my Spanish and she had helped me so much preparing for that trip. And I thought about her all the time. And when you talk to that one person every week for an hour, you talk about a lot more things than just the language you're studying. I mean, you use the language to discuss things and bond and form a relationship. Phew. It was tough. I was really hurt and sad. And I prayed for her because I didn't know like what happened. Did her family get hurt? Did she get hurt? Was she okay? I still have these questions. I've never heard anything back ever. So obviously I had to find a new teacher. So, whoops, I'm making a mess, y'all. We're going to just scoop that and put it there. Oh, it smells really good. It smells really good. Okay. Add the mashed bananas, coconut oil, okay, we did that. Add the flour mixture to the wet and stir until combined. It really looks like a carrot cake already, you guys. Look at this. Okay, so we're going to add this in. So I went on the hunt through italki because I've been very happy with that product so far. It worked well for me. So I went on another hunt And I interviewed several teachers, but I wasn't finding anybody I really kind of bonded with. And then I really wanted a teacher from Monterrey, Mexico, because I have family that lives there. And so I really wanted to learn Spanish directly from the city where my family's at. And so I was searching, I was interviewing and having, short classes with people to see what their style was like. Nothing was clicking. And then I clicked on this newer teacher. His name's Jair. And I'll link to him too in here. So if anybody's wanting to learn Spanish, he's amazing. So I did my first class with him. He was so upbeat, so happy, so positive. And I just really felt like we clicked right away. Really sweet guy. Young, he could be my kid, totally. But we just bonded and had a really great time. And so in the middle of the first class, we're just talking about like, why do you want to learn Spanish? This kind of stuff. And I was saying, well, I have family in Mexico. And he goes, oh, really? Where's your family at? And I said, well, they're in Monterrey, Mexico. No way, you guys, for real? He teaches from Monterrey, Mexico, and that's where he lives. And I was like praising the Lord. I was so thankful because I so wanted a teacher from Monterrey. I was going to take from somewhere else because, it's not everybody lists where they're from, and Jair didn't. And so, and his name is pronounced Jair, just FYI, it's not Jair. And so in case you're wondering, so anyways, yes, so I was so excited. I was freaking out. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I was looking for. Pause. Add the flour mixture, fold in the raisins and the walnuts. So I have these walnuts that I had to like go in and steal from a mix of nuts that were raw nuts. And so I realized once I started to make this that I didn't have all the ingredients. I didn't have the walnuts. So here we are using these. And actually, I'm supposed to have a full half a cup, I think. And I don't even have that much. So I might throw in a few pepitas, like pumpkin seeds, to kind of round it out, which I've had a different muffin where I had those in it. And I was actually surprised at how much I liked it. I'm making a mess. So anyway, here I am hand breaking these up because I don't feel like cutting them and I'm talking to you. So whatever. So anyway, I was super excited, found Jair and started working with him after I had gone on the trip, which by the way, we went on the trip to Mexico, to Monterrey. And it was wonderful. It was more than I could have ever dreamed. I am so blessed and so thankful. I met so many family members. They welcomed me in a way I could have never anticipated. And no, I had never met any of them except one before. And that's a long story why. So it was absolutely incredible experience. And if you guys want to see, you can see actually the whole video on my Monterrey, Mexico trip. I did record it and I posted a video. So if I remember, I will post that too. But it was just incredibly special. And I got to use my Spanish and everybody was surprised at how well I was able to manage. I mean, I am not fluent. I'm not even close to fluent, but I was able to navigate and help us with most things, between that and the translator on your phone. That was good. I have the pumpkin seeds. I'm just going to add in a couple little scoopfuls like that. So more in a second. Let's add our raisins in. So I need half a cup of raisins. So I think this is half. Yes, this is a half. These are just Trader Joe raisins. I had meant to order raisins from Azure and forgot. So I got the organic ones from Trader Joe's, which to me work just fine too. I don't use a lot of raisins, so I don't know that I necessarily need a bigger bag that I'd get usually from Azure. But I do like raisins. Sometimes I get a hankering for them in my oatmeal. That was kind of a growing up thing to have raisins in your oatmeal, But I always ate the Quaker kind that came in a little packet. So anyway, there we go. Okay, we got it all. Let's mix it up. Found Jair. He's my tutor. He's brought me so far. I did great in Mexico. I mean, I did sufficiently, I guess I'd say. I was sufficient. I was able to get us around. I was able to communicate. I was able to help. I was able to, most importantly, and the most
The only thing that mattered really to me, look at my hair, you guys, that's crazy. Um, the thing that mattered the most to me really was just being able to talk to my family, because the younger generation, like my kids' ages, they can speak English. But my cousins, my first cousins, most of them don't speak any English or very little. And I really wanted to communicate with them and, you know, form a relationship with them. It was really important to me, and it was really wonderful. I had a great time. There was a wedding going on that week, so it was a busy week. So we did other things too. And then there was a whole, just watch the video, you can see the whole story. Okay, so we've got that done. We're going to add this to, oh, I've always wanted to try this, my baking pan. Did it work? Okay, anyway, here's the baking pan. Let's grab a little oil and we will get these greased up. I don't have spray oil. I have oil, and I have and as in the South, they say oil. I don't know, oil? Yeah, something close to that. Here we go. All right, so I just put a little oil in one of these guys, and that guy serves as kind of the stopping point for my brush when it starts to run dry. We just go back in that guy, and I just grease them like this. It's fast, it's easy, there's no propellants. I know what I'm getting in each one, and it makes me happy. And this particular one is Trader Joe's olive oil. It's a lovely oil. My husband and I are actually taking that like a teaspoon every day, just taking it. We'll see what happens. His doctor recommended it. We're going to try it. Let's grab a scooper. I got the bigger scooper because I'm pretty sure that this much muffin mix, that's a lot. So we're going to fill these bad boys. Ready? Okay. Yeah. So anyway, that's my little story of learning Spanish. So I'm still in Spanish class. I go to Spanish Bible study twice a month. I have friends that speak Spanish to me here, and I, with the amazing encouragement of my husband, try to use it as often as possible. I'll tell you, if you all are learning a foreign language, the hardest part is getting out of your own head and speaking it. But I will tell you what, nothing will propel you faster than just doing it. You just have to be brave and start speaking it to people, and make mistakes and be okay with making mistakes. Most people are super kind and want to be helpful. Wow, this is a lot of muffin. So yeah, if you are like in that space, because that's where I was afraid to talk. And actually, I joined that Spanish Bible study to give me a space to start talking to people, because I didn't want my first encounter with that to be on that Mexico trip. I really wanted it to be that I was already at some level familiar with talking to people. You guys, this is way more than a dozen muffins. These people are crazy. But they're going to be big muffins, so super fun for me. Yeah, so that's my encouragement. If you are working on a foreign language, get with it, get out there, speak it. Just practice, practice, practice. Make mistakes, look it up, practice saying it, watch videos. I do all those things. And I get together with friends regularly throughout the month to speak the language with them. I help some friends with their English while they help me with with my Spanish. It's very mutual. Wow, those are going to be some big fluffy. Wow, this thing weighs a ton. Okay, yes, practice your Spanish or whatever foreign language you're working on. Okay, so now the oven is preheated at 375, and I'm sorry I'm hunching over. I need to figure out a new camera situation here. If somebody knows like what's brilliant, help me out. I'm going to pop these in the oven, and we will be back in about, well, they say 20-25 minutes. These are some big muffins. We'll see. Okay, timer went off, and I checked them, and they're done. That was pretty fast for as big as they are. Let's pull them out of the oven. Look at those. Hold on. You guys, look at these things. Golly. Oh, they smell so good. And you could, pop in like a toothpick and check them. But honestly, I just go with this method. I just can tell that they're done all the way through. I've baked for years. So I trust my gut. So yeah, anyway, they're done. They're beautiful. Let's pop them out of this pan and see how they do. Usually I would scrape the edges down, but these are just overflowing. So I'm just going to take this and turn it upside down. Get these guys on and do a quick flip. Okay. Oh, my leg collapsed. Oh goodness. Let's hope they just come out. Oh yeah, there we go. Woo. I crushed one by accident because that thing kind of fell. Let me see if I can. So that's what they look like upside down, hot as could be. And then I will just flip. Oh, you guys, these are really beautiful muffins. Oh my word. I think they're going to be delicious. My only thought was they may not be super sweet, but that's actually really good because they're for breakfast and I don't need super sweet all the time. But if you're like me, I kind of crave super sweet a lot. So these will be just fine, I'm sure, in sweetness. They have the applesauce, the carrots, the raisins, the coconut sugar. They have a lot of good things. You could honestly add just about anything you wanted to them. Okay, guys, there they go. Beautiful carrot cake muffins. I have breakfast ready for the week. You joined me. Thank you so much for following along. Once again, these are gluten-free, egg-free. These are dairy-free. Great for a lot of folks. I think the only person that would really struggle if you can't have oats, which some folks really can't tolerate oats, that becomes a little harder, and I use oats a lot in my baking. But if you can tolerate oats, then you'll be able to follow along for a lot of the things I bake. I would really appreciate it if you gave this a thumbs up, a share, left a comment. Let me know what you think. If you try them, I want to know that too. Maybe I take a little bite while you guys are still on here. Let me see. Oh, there's a piece broken off already. That seems reasonable. Oh my. Those are actually really good. Mildly sweet, perfect. They're going to be great with all the add-ins when you're eating the muffin. They're going to be wonderful. What a wonderful treat. These are really great. I'm glad you guys joined me today. Thanks again so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.